Welcome to my channel. Today I want to tell you something that many students do not talk about, but they think about. You have a big essay to write. You do not know where to start. The topic is confusing. The deadline is close. Your teacher expects something perfect. You think, what if I could just buy an evaluation essay? Is that a good idea? Can it save time? Will it help you learn English? Or will it harm your learning? In this video, I will explain step by step. I will show you the good things and the bad things. I will tell you how to choose a safe service. I will teach you how to use a purchased essay to learn, not to cheat. I will give simple examples and small exercises you can try today. Stay with me until the end. By the end, you will know exactly what to do. Chapter E. What is an evaluation essay? An evaluation essay is simply a piece of writing where you give your opinion about something, and then you explain why you think that way. In simple words, it's like when you tell your friend, "That restaurant was great," and your friend asks, "Why?" You then explain, "The food was fresh, the service was friendly, and the prices were good." This is exactly what an evaluation essay does. You give a judgment, and then you support it with reasons and examples. Look, it's not just about saying good or bad. It's about proving your opinion with facts, details, and clear thinking. You already do this in your daily life without even realizing it. Imagine you watch a movie. After the movie, you tell someone, "I loved it." But if they ask you why, you might say, "The acting was amazing, the story was emotional, and the music was beautiful." Word tumtushanti. That's an evaluation. Or think about when you try a new coffee shop. You might say, "I don't think I will go there again. The coffee was too bitter, and the place was noisy." That's also an evaluation. You gave your opinion, and you explained the reasons. In school, an evaluation essay works the same way, but it's more formal. Teachers use it to see how well you can think, organize your thoughts, and write in a clear way. You might be asked to evaluate a book, a movie, a speech, or even an idea. The goal is to see if you can explain your opinion and support it with evidence. For example, if you are writing about a book, you don't just say, "This book was interesting." You have to explain why. Maybe the characters felt real. Maybe the story taught you something new. Or maybe the writing style was easy to understand. For English learners, this type of essay can be difficult. First, you need to understand the topic well. Then, you have to think in English and find the right words to explain your ideas. You also need to know how to organize your essay so that it makes sense. Many learners get stuck because they have the ideas in their head, but they can't find the right vocabulary to express them. Some feel nervous because they are not sure if their grammar is correct. And of course, writing in a second language takes more time than in your first language, so deadlines can. This is why some students think about buying an evaluation essay. They imagine it could be a shortcut, a way to see what a perfect essay looks like, or even a way to submit something without spending hours on it. But here's the question. Is buying an essay really a shortcut? Or is it just a tool that can help you learn? The truth is, it depends on how you use it. If you buy an essay and just send it to your teacher as if it's your own, you might get a grade. But you won't improve your English. On the other hand, if you use it like a study guide, reading it carefully, noticing the vocabulary, the structure, and the way ideas are explained, then it can actually teach you a lot. And it can show you how a good evaluation essay is built, and you can try to copy that style in your own writing. So, in this chapter, we understand that an evaluation essay is not something strange or scary. You already do evaluations in your daily life. When you review food, movies, or even clothes you buy, the only difference is that in school you need to write them in a clear, organized way. Whether you choose to write your own or learn from a purchased one, the goal is the same: to become better at expressing your ideas in English. In the next chapter, we will talk about why so many students even think about buying an evaluation essay in the first place, and you might find that their reasons sound very familiar to you. Chapter R. Why students think of buying one. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I had a student named Adil Feepens. He was a hard-working young man who wanted to improve his English because he dreamed of studying abroad. One day, his teacher gave him an assignment: write an evaluation essay about a film he had watched in class. Adil was excited at first. He liked the movie and had many opinions about it. But when he sat down to write, the excitement disappeared. He stared at the blank page for a long time. He knew what he wanted to say in his own language, but in English, the words didn't come easily. He tried writing a few sentences, but they sounded strange. Hey! He wasn't sure if his grammar was correct. He looked at the instructions again, but they were full of academic words he didn't fully understand. Words like criteria, analysis. The deadline was only 2 days away, and he had other homework, a part-time job, and family responsibilities. He stayed up late, rewriting the same sentences over and over, but nothing felt right. On the last day, feeling tired and frustrated, Adil started thinking, what if I could just buy an evaluation essay? At least I would have something to submit. Adil's situation is not unusual. Many students, especially English learners, face the same challenges. One of the biggest reasons is lack of time. Writing an evaluation essay takes more than just sitting down and typing. You have to plan, research, think about your opinion, find good examples, and then write it in clear English. For someone who is still learning the language, this process can take many hours, sometimes days. When you add other classes, work, and personal life into the mix, it's no surprise that students feel pressure to find a faster solution. Another reason is teachers sometimes expect students to already know what an evaluation essay is and how to write one. They might explain it quickly in class, but if you don't understand every detail, you can easily get lost. You might not know how to start, how to structure your paragraphs, or how much detail to give. without a clear example to follow, it's like trying to build a house without a blueprint. Fear of low grades is another big factor. Imagine you've been working hard all semester, but your English is still not strong. You worry that if you submit a weak essay, it will bring down your final grade. Trouble. This fear can push students toward buying an essay thinking it's the safer option. And then there's the issue of language skills. Even if you understand the topic, expressing your thoughts in English can be hard. Finding the right words, using correct grammar, and making your writing sound natural is not easy for beginners. Sometimes, students just want to see what a good essay looks like, not to copy it, but to learn from it. That's something many people misunderstand. Buying an essay is not always about avoiding work. For some students, it's about having a model, an example they can study and use to improve. Just like you might watch a skilled chef before cooking a dish yourself, seeing a well-written essay can show you the recipe for success. It can help you understand how to introduce your topic, how to organize your points, and how to make your writing flow. In the end, students like a deal are not lazy. They are trying to survive in a busy, stressful learning environment. While building skills in a new language, the real question is not just should I buy an essay? But if I do, how will I use it? And that's where things start to get interesting, because the difference between cheating and learning often comes down to how you handle that choice. In the next chapter, we will explore how a well-written example can actually help you learn faster and why it might be more valuable than you think. Chapter 10: The Benefits of a Well-Written Example. When people hear the words buying an essay, they often imagine it as a way to escape work. But that's not the only way to see it. A purchased evaluation essay, if chosen carefully, can be a powerful learning tool. It's like buying a map before going on a journey. The map doesn't take you to your destination, but it shows you the roads, the turns, and the safest way forward. Think about math for a moment. When you're learning a new formula, your teacher often gives you a solved example before asking you to solve your own problems. 1. You look at the example carefully. See how each step is done, and then try to do it yourself. That solved problem doesn't mean you've mastered the skill, but it guides you. The same happening if you're learning to write an evaluation essay. Seeing a complete, well-written one can show you exactly how it's supposed to look. One of the biggest benefits is understanding structure. Many students get lost when writing essays because they don't know how to organize their ideas. A good example can show you where to start, how to move from one idea to the next, and how to finish strongly. You'll see that a typical evaluation essay starts with an introduction that clearly says what is being evaluated, followed by body paragraphs that each focus on one reason or criterion, and finally, a conclusion that summarizes and reinforces the opinion. Vrat mobile. Another benefit is vocabulary. As an English learner, you may know many basic words, but academic writing often uses more precise terms. For example, instead of saying good, you might say effective, engaging, or well executed. A well-written example can introduce you to this kind of vocabulary in context, which makes it easier to remember and use later. You can even highlight useful phrases like one of the strengths of this, or a major weakness in this is, and then try using them in your own writing. Then there are transitions, the small words and phrases that connect ideas smoothly. Without them, writing feels choppy and disconnected. In a good example, you'll notice transitions like in addition, pakent, however, on the other hand, and for example. These are like bridges between your thoughts, and they make your essay easier to read and understand. You also learn about argument style. Evaluation essays are not just about saying what you think. They about convincing the reader that your opinion is reasonable. A strong example will show you how to back up your points with evidence, whether it's facts, comparisons, or detailed descriptions. What? You'll see how to balance positive and negative points and how to keep your tone respectful even when criticizing something. If used correctly, studying a purchased essay can improve more than just your writing. It can boost your reading skills because you're analyzing the text carefully. Not just skimming it. It can help your speaking skills if you read parts of it aloud. And notice how the sentences are built. Over time, the style and vocabulary you see in writing can naturally start appearing in the way you speak. But here's the most important point. A purchased essay is a tool, not a replacement for learning. Just like buying a beautiful cookbook doesn't make you a great chef. Buying an essay doesn't make you a good writer. You still need to practice, make mistakes, and write your own work. The example is there to guide you, to inspire you, and to give you a model to follow. But the real progress comes when you try it yourself. In the next chapter, we'll talk about the risks of buying essays. Because while there are real benefits, there are also dangers that every student should know before making a decision. Chapter. Sir, the risks you must know. Up to this point, we've talked about how a purchased evaluation essay can help you learn if used correctly. But now we need to talk about the other side of the story. Because while there are benefits, there are also real risks. And if you don't know them, you could end up facing embarrassment, lost money, or even serious trouble in school. One of the biggest risks is plagiarism. Plagiarism means using someone else's work and pretending it's your own. Many schools and universities have strict rules against this. 2. If they find out you submitted a purchased essay without writing it yourself, you could get a failing grade, lose marks, or even be suspended. In some cases, your reputation as a student can be damaged, and it's not easy to repair. Remember, teachers have tools and software that can detect copied content in seconds. Then there's the problem of bad quality. Not every service that sells essays cares about quality. Some just want your money. They may give you something that's full of grammar mistakes, incorrect facts, or poor structure. Imagine paying for help and getting a paper that is worse than what you could have written yourself. That's not just a waste of money. It's also a blow to your confidence. Scams are another danger. Some websites promise you a custom essay, but after you pay, they disappear. Bore. Others send you something that looks original, but is actually copied word for word from the internet. This brings us back to plagiarism. If your teacher finds out, you're the one who faces the consequences, not the person who sold it to you. Let me tell you a short cautionary story. There was a student named Sana who had a big evaluation essay due. She was under pressure and decided to buy one from a website that looked professional. The website promised Bivandry e-bike original work and expert writers. Sana paid a high price, hoping it would be perfect. But when she received the essay, she noticed it didn't really match the instructions from her teacher. But the language was too advanced. It didn't sound like her own style. Reberi Sikh fuck style. Wow. She started to worry that her teacher might suspect something. She submitted it anyway. A week later, her teacher returned the paper with a note. This essay appears to be copied. Please explain. Rund. The teacher had run it through plagiarism detection software, and large parts of it were taken from a public blog. She was embarrassed and scared. She had to meet with the school administration, explain the situation, and accept a failing grade for the assignment. The money she paid was gone, and the experience damaged her relationship with the teacher. This is why I want you to remember, buying an essay is not a risk-free shortcut. If you don't choose the right source, you could lose both your money and your reputation. Some services don't care about your learning or your future, they just care about profit. So here's the key message. If you ever decide to buy an evaluation essay, you must be careful. You need to know how to find a service that is trustworthy, produces original work, and gives you what you actually need. That's exactly what we'll talk about in the next chapter. So don't skip ahead. The tips I'm going to share can save you from making the same mistakes as Sana. Chapter Wove. How to choose a good service. If you have decided to buy an evaluation essay, not to cheat, but to learn from it, the most important step is choosing the right service. 4. This step can make the difference between getting a valuable learning tool or ending up with a useless, copied paper that Many students make mistakes here because they don't know what to look for. So, let's talk about how to choose wisely, using simple and clear steps. The first thing to check is reviews. Reviews are comments from other people who have used the service before. If many customers are happy, it's usually a good sign. But be careful. Some fake websites write their own fake reviews to make themselves look good. A smart way to check is to look for reviews on independent websites, not just the company's own page. For example, if a service has many 5-star reviews but no details, it might not be real. A genuine review will often mention specific things like, the essay was delivered on time, or the writer followed my instructions exactly. The second thing is sample essays. A reliable service will show you samples of their work before you buy. This is like tasting food before you order the full meal. If the samples are full of grammar mistakes, poor organization, or strange vocabulary, that's a warning sign. Good samples will be clear, well-structured, and easy to follow, and they should match the quality they promise. Next is customer service. A good company will answer your questions quickly and politely. If you send a message and they reply after 3 days, that's not a good sign. Ask them simple things. Will my essay be original? Can I request changes if I need them? If they give clear, friendly answers, they are more likely to be trustworthy. This is where we use the word reliable. It means you can trust them to do what they say. To worry. You also need to look at clear pricing. A good service will tell you exactly how much you need to pay and what you are paying for. If the price suddenly changes after you agree, or if they add extra costs you didn't know about, that's a bad sign. We call a good company transparent. This means they are open and honest about their process, with no hidden tricks. The thing is refund policies. A refund policy means they will give your money back if something goes wrong. For example, if they don't deliver the essay on time or if the quality is not what they promised. If a service has no refund policy, it might not care about keeping customers happy. Let's compare two imaginary cases so you can see the difference. Case E. The good service. Ali wants to buy an evaluation essay. He finds a website with many detailed reviews from real customers. Accuracy. The website shows several sample essays that look professional and easy to understand. When Ali sends a question in the chat, a representative replies within minutes and answers everything clearly. The price is fair and explained in detail. No surprises. The company promises originality and offers a full refund if the essay doesn't match the instructions. Ali feels confident, places his order, and receives a high-quality essay that helps him learn new vocabulary and structure. Case R. The bad service. Sarah also needs an evaluation essay. She finds a website with only short, 5-star reviews like "great work," but no real details. The site has no sample essays to show. She sends a question and gets no reply for 2 days. When they finally answer, the message is short and unclear. The price seems cheap at first, but after she agrees, they add processing fees that make it more expensive than she expected. There's no refund policy. Sarah takes the risk. But when the essay arrives, it's full of copied sentences from the internet. She can't use it, and she loses both her money and her time. The lesson is simple. If you want to use a purchased essay as a tool for learning, make sure the service is authentic, reliable, and transparent. Take the time to check reviews, read samples, test their customer service, understand the pricing, and confirm their refund policy. It might take a little extra effort, but it can save you from big problems later. In the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how to study and learn from a purchased essay. So that it becomes a powerful tool for improving your English skills. Chapter 2. How to learn from a purchased essay. If you ever buy an essay, the real value is not just in having it written, hard. For you, it's in what you can learn from it. Think of it as buying a detailed map for a journey. You could just use it to reach the destination once, or you could study the map so well that you could travel anywhere on your own in the future. In this chapter, I want to walk you step by step through how to turn a purchased essay into your personal classroom so you grow smarter, faster, and more confident in your writing. First, start by reading it slowly. Don't rush. Take a comfortable seat, maybe with a cup of tea, and read the essay as if it's a story someone is telling you. Pay attention to the flow, how the ideas start, how they move forward, and how they end. Notice if it begins with an introduction that catches your interest, then develops with clear points, and finally ends. Many people make the mistake of reading it once and putting it away. No. Read it 2 or 3 times. The more you read, the more patterns you will notice. Second, highlight key phrases. As you read, take a pen or a digital highlighter and mark the sentences or words that feel powerful. For example, you might highlight a phrase like, "The evidence strongly supports this claim," or, "In conclusion, deeper connection." These phrases are like tools in a toolbox. If you remember them, you can use them in your own writing to sound more professional and confident. Third, notice transitions. Transitions are the bridges between sentences and paragraphs. They help the reader move smoothly from one idea to the next. Words like however, therefore, on the other hand, in addition, as a result are all transitions. Look at where the essay writer used them and how they make the text feel connected. Without good transitions, writing can feel broken, like a road full of potholes. With good transitions, it feels like a smooth drive. Fourth, check how evidence is used. This is a secret many good writers know. Evidence is not just information, it's proof. When the essay uses a fact, statistic, quote, or example, look at how it's introduced. Is it explained clearly? Connected to the main point? For example, if the essay says, according to a Arsène Ling-Arserson study, Beifinderd Losher Wu of students prefer online learning. Notice what comes after. Does the writer explain why that number matters? This is the part you want to learn, how to make facts support your ideas. Fifth, rewrite parts in your own words. This is where the real magic happens. Pick one paragraph and try to say the same thing differently. Use simpler words or change the sentence order. This exercise forces your brain to understand the meaning, not just copy the words. For example, if the essay says global warming poses a significant threat to coastal communities, you could rewrite it as communities near the sea are in danger because of climate change. The meaning is the same, but the wording is yours. Now, here are a few secret study tricks that can make you learn even faster. Medical. E. Read aloud. Hearing the words will help you remember sentence patterns. R. Cover and recall. After reading a paragraph, cover it and try to remember the key points. San. Shadow writing. Copy one sentence word for word, then try to write the next sentence without looking. This improves your writing rhythm. C. Mix and match. Take a phrase from one part of the essay and combine it with an idea from another. This helps you become creative with structure. Finally, remember this. A purchased essay is like a teacher's notebook. You can keep it as a reference, come back to it before writing your own work, and even use it as a model for style and structure. But the most important rule is this: don't just submit it as it is. That will give you a grade today, but learning from it will give you skills for life. The more you study and practice with it, the more independent and confident you'll become as a writer. If you follow these steps, you'll never see a purchased essay as just something you bought. Instead, you'll see it as an investment in your growth, one that pays back every time you write. Chapter Chi. When you should write your own, there comes a moment in every learner's journey when the training wheels need to come off. Fear. Buying an evaluation essay to study from can be helpful in the beginning. It's like looking at a finished puzzle so you know what the picture is supposed to be. But if you want to grow, you have to start putting the pieces together yourself. That's when writing your own essay, even if it's not perfect, becomes more valuable than submitting the best essay someone else wrote for you. Because here's the truth: the grade you earn is just ink on paper, but the skill you build is something you carry for life. I want you to imagine a student named Ayesha. When she first joined university, her writing skills were weak. She didn't know how to start a paragraph, how to connect ideas, or how to use evidence properly. She bought her first evaluation essay just to understand what a good one looked like. She read it again and again, almost like a novel, underlining sentences she liked and asking herself why they worked so well. She practiced rewriting those sentences in her own words. For the next few months, she relied on purchased essays to guide her. But then, something changed. One day, she was given an evaluation essay assignment on a book she had actually read and enjoyed. Instead of searching for one to buy, she thought, "What if I try writing it myself this time?" She opened a blank page, nervous at first, but then she started with what she remembered from the essays she had studied. A strong introduction, clear thesis, body paragraphs with evidence, and smooth transitions. It wasn't perfect. In fact, she made mistakes. But when her teacher returned the paper, she was surprised to see a B+, higher than she expected. More importantly, her teacher had written, "Good structure, strong ideas. Keep going." That little note gave her more confidence than any purchased essay ever had. Wobris, numbered. This is the moment I want you to aim for. Buying essays can be a stepping stone, but it should never be the destination. The purpose is not to depend on someone else's words forever. The purpose is to learn the rhythm, flow, and techniques of writing so you can create your own work with pride. You might be scared to take that step, thinking your writing won't be good enough. But here's a secret. The first draft doesn't need to be perfect. The act of writing, struggling, editing, and improving is what makes you better. When you write your own essay, you discover your voice. You learn to express opinions in a way that is truly yours. You feel ownership over your work, and that feeling is worth more than an A on a paper you didn't write. Walperisam 1. So, when should you write your own? The answer is, as soon as you've learned enough from examples to try. That's the point where you stop being just a learner and start being a writer. And once you cross that bridge, you'll never look back. Chapter by The Smart Way Forward. When we reach this point in our journey, it is time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Yes, buying an evaluation essay can save time, give you examples, and even inspire you to write better. But if you rely on it completely, you will be walking with someone else's legs. And one day, when you need to stand on your own, you may fall. The smart way forward is not about rejecting help, but about using it in a way that builds your own ability. 1. Think of it as borrowing a flashlight in the dark. The light can guide you, but you must still take each step yourself. If you choose to buy an essay, treat it like a study guide, not the final product of your education. Read it slowly. Notice how the writer starts the introduction. Pay attention to the words they use to connect ideas. See how they end with a strong conclusion. Ask yourself, why did they write it this way? And how can I use this technique in my own writing? This active learning will turn a purchased essay into a powerful teacher. It will stop being just a paper and will become a map. You can follow until you can make your own map. Remember, the ultimate goal is not to collect perfect essays. It is to communicate clearly and confidently in English. Your true skill is not in showing a paper you bought, but in expressing your own thoughts in a way others can understand. No matter how good the purchased essay is, it cannot replace the deep skill of thinking in English. That skill comes only from practice, from making mistakes, fixing them, and learning every day. I once knew a student named Adil. He started buying essays because he felt he was too slow and made too many mistakes. At first, he used them just to pass assignments, but later, he began reading them carefully, taking notes, and copying the style into his practice writing. Slowly, his sentences became clearer, his vocabulary richer. One day, he decided to write his final essay without buying any help. He submitted it with a nervous heart and got a high grade. And his teacher even said, "I can hear your voice in this paper, Sinri." That was when Adil realized something powerful. The purchased essays had not been his weakness. They had been his training tools. This is the mindset you need to carry forward. If you buy something to help you, let it teach you. Use it to guide you, but do not let it define you. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep speaking and writing in English every single day. Even 10 minutes of daily practice can make a difference over time. You are capable of more than you think. The smart way forward is balance. Take help when you need it, but always return to building your own skills. With the right strategy, patience, and a little courage, you will reach the day when you no longer need to buy essays, because your own words will be strong enough to stand anywhere in the world.